In many marketing situations, we need to analyze, slice, and dice the data to gain important marketing insights. Excel pivot tables enable us to quickly summarize and describe our data in many different ways. In this video, I will show you how to use pivot tables to answer the following questions. 1. What percentage of sales occurs at each store? 2. What percentage of sales occurs during each month? And 3. How much revenue does each product generate? Before analyzing sales data, we first need some data to work with. The dataset used in this demo is from the Marketing Analytics, written by Wayne Winston. This data worksheet contains sales data from 2 local hardware stores, the Uptown store owned by Billy Joel and the Downtown store owned by Petula Clark. Each store sells 10 types of tape, 10 types of adhesive, and 10 types of safety equipment. Also, we have info about which month the item was sold and the price. In total, we have 1326 data points. Now let's look at how to get the percentage of sales by store using PivotTable. Please note that before creating a pivot table, you must have headings in the first row of your data. Now place your cursor anywhere in the data cells and click the Insert tab, then click Pivot Table. The Excel opens a pivot table dialog box as shown here. You can either select a table or range or use an external data source. Let's select the dataset here, then click OK. And you will see the pivot table field list shown on the right-hand side. You can fill in the pivot table field list by dragging the pivot table headings or fields into the boxes or zones. For boxes are given here, filters, columns, rows, and values. Let's drag Store field to the filter box. Now you can easily pick any subset of the filed values so that the pivot table shows calculations, for example, % of sales, based only on that subset. Let's drag Store field to the column box. Fields dragged here have their values listed across the top row of the pivot table. What happens if you drag Store field to the row box? Fields dragged to the row box are listed on the left side of the table in the order they are added to the box. The last box here is values. Fields dragged to values box are summarized mathematically in the pivot table. The price field can be dragged to this box. To answer the question, what percentage of sales occurs at each store, we can drag Store field to the row box, and price field to the values box. As you see, the default calculation is the sum of the price. Let's change it to % of sales. Double-click the sum of price, and you will see the setting dialog. Let's change the name to % of sales. Then select Show Values As and select % of column total, then click OK. Another way to access the setting dialog is to click the arrow in the Values box, then select Value Filed Settings. The resulting pivot table shows 52% of the sales in the Downtown store and 48% of the sales in the Uptown store. To answer the second question, what percentage of sales occurs during each month? We can drag the month field to the row box and price field to the values box. You can see that 8.81% of the sales were in January. The data also shows that the stores exhibit little seasonality. I will make another video discussing how to estimate seasonality and the importance of seasonality in marketing analytics. If you are interested in these topics, please subscribe to my channel for weekly updates. To answer the third question, how much revenue does each product generate? We can drag the product field to the row box and price field to the value box. We want to have the total revenue instead of the % of sales. Double-click % of sales, then select Show Values As, then select No Calculation. By default, the sum of sales is reported. Double-click it again and change the name to Revenue. You can now see the revenue that each product generated individually. For example, Adhesive 1 generated $24 worth of revenue. My channel aims to teach you the business analytics, including concepts, methodologies, and tools, through how-to examples. If you are interested to learn how to use analytics to solve real business issues, please subscribe to my channel for weekly updates.